How many folks in here like to work out? How many folks know they have to work out but really don't like to? That's the sound I was waiting for. See, the thing is that you have to work out. You have to get involved. But this next slide might just make you want to. In Your Office Chair is Killing You by Adam Howell.
Most of us do this way too much. And by this, I mean the act of sitting, not my penis. There's actually only one person here who does that too much. Hey, honey. No, but seriously. We sit almost 10% more than we did a couple of decades ago. And that works out to about 9 hours plus of sitting every single day. We don't even sleep 8 hours a day, and our bodies just weren't made for that. I'm not a huge believer in the idea that everything that the cave people did, we should be doing, because I personally enjoyed living past the age of 30. But it is true that cave people only sat when they were too tired to keep moving, or when it was too dangerous to sleep. So they sat up to look around and be aware of their surroundings. Otherwise, they kept moving with hunting and gathering, or they slept. Us, not so much. We sit when we drive, we sit when we work, we sit when we eat, we sit when we do whatever the hell that guy's doing. And this isn't good for us, not only in the bad for our soul kind of way, like Office Space, we weren't meant to be doing this every single day, but also in the fact that we now have a whole new line of medical study called inactive physiology, just to kind of keep track of all this new sitting we've done. And we're finding out it's kind of bad for us. So earlier this year, the American Cancer Society published a study that said that women who sit over 6 hours a day were 40% likelier to die by the end of the 14-year study than women who sat less than 3. With men, it was about 20%. The College of Cardiology published a study that said that people who sat for 4 hours or more once they got home had a higher risk of heart problems, both heart attack and heart problems down the road. And then another study concluded that people who worked sedentary jobs had a higher risk of certain types of cancer. And I could go on. Sitting has also been linked to obesity, to type A diabetes, and a study that I just now made up right here concluded that every 3 hours you sit, there's a tragic murder of these two cute puppies. So you have cancer, you have heart disease, and you have puppy murder. This is a real problem. And if all that wasn't bad enough, we've also discovered that no amount of exercise will reverse the effects of too much sitting. It's like smoking. You could run a marathon on the weekends, but if you're smoking a pack a day during the weekday, the smoking's still going to kill you. It's the same thing with sitting. So what can we do? We're at work 8 hours a day, we come home, we're exhausted, we sit in front of the TV or the computer, and no amount of exercise is going to fix that. So what do? Lots of people, including myself, have started using standing desks. I've been using one at home and work for about a year now, and there are a lot of advantages. The first is that you avoid all the health problems that I mentioned earlier, but also if you have lower back problems from sitting too much and not exercising enough, standing will alleviate a lot of those problems. When you're standing, there's more blood flow to your brain, which is a good thing, and so higher concentration and more energy during the workday. And then, of course, by standing all day, you're working out your knees and your legs and your feet, and you're actually burning 30 to 60 more calories an hour than you would be if you're sitting. Now, there are some disadvantages, too. It takes a while to get used to standing in front of your desk. It's not an overnight thing. It'll take a few weeks, and your feet and your knees and your legs will hurt a little bit until you get used to it, but you will get used to it. Also, if you're the first person in your office to start standing, you're going to look a little weird at first. In my previous job, I stood in the back with a couple of desks that I jerry-rigged into a standing desk, and I wore headphones when I worked, and I looked like a DJ. So a coworker made this for me. But now, when you start at Google or Facebook, on your first day, you have the choice between a standing desk or a sitting desk. So the tide is really starting to turn. And then you can spend as much as you want to on a standing desk. The treadmill desk can be a couple $1,000s. There's a popular geek desk that goes up and down. It can be $1,000. I jerry-rigged an IKEA Frederick desk for $150 at home, and it works great. A couple last tips. You want the desk height to be about as tall as your elbow when you're standing. You want to wear comfortable shoes. Some people use standing mats, but I don't really think those are necessary. You'll get used to it if you just wear a pair of comfortable shoes. You don't want to stand all the time because that's just as bad as sitting in some cases, and you'll get varicose veins early, so just stand most of the time. And if you just can't stand, then at least take frequent breaks using a program that reminds you to get up and move around every few minutes. And there's more at that URL, and thank you very much.